So, hello, this is Fernanda from Fab Marketing, and today I am here with Natalie Krivda-Jones from the Digital Moms Directory. And we are going to talk all about running two businesses, juggling kids and house, and a few tips as well on how to promote your business using some very clever marketing strategies. I'm very excited to have Natalie here. I've known Natalie now for, I think about 1 or 2 years, and she's brilliant and she's fantastic. And you're going to take a lot away from this session. So welcome, Natalie. How are you?
Hi, good. Thanks, Fernanda. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. I'm so excited to talk to you today. And especially because, for how long have you been running the Digital Moms Directory, by the way?
We're coming on to 2 years now. So yeah, it's been great. Basically, end of 2017, we started.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. So that's for how long I know you. I remember when you started, I think I was one of the first on the directory. Yeah, and it's grown a lot, I've noticed, in the past year or so.
Yeah, definitely.
So I wanted to ask you, how did you start? How did you come up with the idea for the Digital Moms Directory?
So I had started freelancing myself probably about 7.5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd been working on my own, and quite often when I was looking for contacts in various areas, so I myself look after marketing strategy, but I was looking for someone in PR. I was looking for someone who could help me with some online, what we used to call banner advertising. And I was looking for people who could help me with that, graphic designers. And I always reverted back to my contacts that I had in my old job. And, you know, I was able to find someone. But what I found is that there were a lot of people like myself who had been working for corporate for so long, who were then starting their own freelance business from home. And I was chatting with a lot of them. And I just found, you know, I was able to find them by going from one through to another person.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it would be amazing if we could just have one place to promote these people. Because there was just so many moms starting businesses, but there were also just businesses who were looking for freelancers who didn't necessarily, or had a particular type of freelancer that they were looking for. Yeah. And so starting the Digital Moms is just all about promoting these amazing services that all of these moms are offering. And so many of them just had like incredible backgrounds, you know, diversity in the businesses that they had been working corporately for so long, and the experience that they had was just incredible. So to be able to share all of these people and really highlight how amazing all of these moms are who are working freelance, that's sort of where the idea had come from.
And you do a great job of it, by the way.
Thank you.
So, but you do also run another business, which is in your name, right? And as a marketing strategist and social media manager. So that's what you were doing before, and you still do, right?
Yes, that's correct. So I sort of returned back to work after my son was 6 months old. And at that point in time, the business that I was working for and had been working for 10 years sort of said I needed to move states. You know, the business had changed in that short time that I'd been off, but I needed to move states, and I wasn't able to do my role based out of Perth anymore. So that was a big shock when you've just had a 6-month-old and you've returned work earlier than what a lot of other people did. But, you know, it wasn't a nasty leave or anything like that. They then helped me find another job. And I worked on an agency. So I went from a client to an agency side. And I lasted about 9 months, but I just struggled with having a newborn baby at home and doing a job that I wasn't yet used to. You know, obviously it's a whole new role for me and a whole new job, but also just a whole different working client side is very different to agency side. So I lasted about 9 months, and then I wasn't able to do it anymore. I really struggled with the travel. I struggled with a lot of things. And that's when I sort of started. I hadn't considered freelance when I left that job, but within a couple of weeks of leaving, a few people who I'd worked with in the past sort of made contact with me to see if I'd be interested in helping them out with some stuff. And that's what started, or what led to my freelance journey.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of the same story with a lot of moms, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Hard sometimes to juggle the whole business not job and children and not, because at least with our own businesses we are our own bosses, so we make our own hours.
Exactly.
And if that means we are working at night but then a little bit more free during the day, well, so be it.
Yeah.
Also, you can determine how many clients you take in rather than
Yeah.
having to comply with certain expectations, which sometimes
Yeah.
is quite hard, I guess.
Yeah. And a 40-hour-a-week job is really difficult. So working full time, but also, you add to that the time to travel. For me, I'm an hour out of the city to travel. So it was every day an hour on the train, every day an hour home. That sort of just adds to it. And when you've got really young children and also planning more at that stage, it was like, how are we going to make this work? It was really difficult.
That's true. Now, how do you actually juggle? That is the question, because I tell you, I run one business at the moment, Fab Marketing, and I juggle Fab Marketing with 2 kids and house and all the expectations that come from when you work at home.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you juggle 2 businesses?
I guess the key things is I'm still all within that one space. So I'm still quite heavily focused on digital marketing.
Yeah.
And with the digital moms, it's almost like one of my clients' work, because I'm still within that same space.
Yeah.
And I kind of treat it as such, I guess. So overall, these are my clients. Digital Mums is one of my clients. The other businesses that I work for are also my clients. So it's just about scheduling in that work and making sure, this is the to-do list for each of the jobs that I need to do this week. How am I going to schedule it in? I've increased my workload. So I was originally, when I started, I was working 2 full days. And when I say full days, I'm talking school days.
Yeah.
Per week. And last year I moved and increased to 3 school days per week. And there are still some, a couple of things where I might need to work on a weekend for a couple of hours, or, a couple of evenings here and there. But I do try to treat my job the same as if I were working in an office. So these are my hours and this is when I'm working, because you can also slip into the habit of working, a lot of nights or a lot of weekends. And that's not what I wanted. And that's why I increased myself to 3 full school days a week. And where I don't have events or things during that week or school activities that I need to go to, I stick to those 3 days. But it gives me the flexibility as well. Whereas if I've got to go to a sports carnival or watch an assembly or, go to an excursion with my child, I can do that. And it means I can shift my work to, a couple hours on the weekend or something like that. So I love having that flexibility. But at the same time, I treat it just like I would heading into an office and doing those hours, because if I don't, I find myself just inundated and feeling that sort of pressure as well.
Yeah, you're quite right. I found myself in the same position. In fact, when I started, I used to, I used to just juggle all. But then very quickly I realized that wasn't going to work, and I had to establish these are my working hours, these are my working days. Otherwise, you really start working instead of the 9 to 5, the 5 to 9, 5 in the morning, 9 to 9 at night, and it's just crazy. It's you can't. You have to put in the boundaries and say these are my working hours. This is the working space, and that's where I do it. So,
and you've got to tell that not only to your clients or to your customers, but to yourself. And this is what I find. A lot of people might put it, out of office and they're not available via email or something like that. And you get a bounce back to say you need to contact us during this time. But then I find they do sort of still respond to stuff. So we've got to tell ourselves, and we've got to treat it the same way we would a job. We wouldn't head into the office, at 6 p.m. at night just for a quick have a look at my emails. So, you've got to treat it the same. That way your customers or your clients will also treat you the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the questions that probably people have in mind, and I definitely do, is what kind of marketing strategies have you used to grow the Digital Moms directory and perhaps your own business under your name as well? What kind of tips can you offer and tell people what worked really well for you?
I have found Facebook is still the number one platform that I use. it's the biggest way to get engagement. I find it's the easiest way to direct traffic to a website or off the platform, whether that's to sign up to an email marketing, whether that's to go read a blog, or whether that's to go view the Digital Mums directly or the directory part of it. But it's just still such a powerful tool. There is still such an audience there. And I know I hear a lot of people sort of say, Facebook's not working for me, I'm not getting organic reach. You know, with the Digital Mums directory, we still get amazing reach. And when I say amazing, we're sort of talking between the 50% as an average. And then obviously we get a couple of memes or a couple of things here that do tend to go a bit viral, and, you know, we're heading to the tens of thousands of reach. So we still get incredible reach. We still get incredible engagement. And I think one of the reasons for that is, you know, mums are on that platform. And when they're on that platform, they are there to learn. They are there to take in stuff. Sure, they're having a look at some photos here and there of family and friends and stuff like that. But I still find the engagement on a business side is just so high on Facebook. And Facebook then lends itself to allow you to have Messenger. And Facebook Messenger, again, allows people to make contact with us in a way that's not undermining their own business. So they're not announcing to their friends and family what they're doing or what they're questioning in their business. So they send us a message and have that privacy of not everyone knowing everything. A lot of people also, email marketing is really popular from, you know, and what we do, I guess, is funnel people into that. So here's our Facebook page. Here's how to find out more about us and more about what we do. Hit them into the Facebook group, because that's another way where engagement is, it's a lot easier to get engagement in your Facebook group. People are a lot more open when they know that they're surrounded by like-minded people. And email marketing is another one that's also opens up that communications channel and also helps to drive traffic through to the website. So I'd probably say they're the key areas. Instagram, I have found, I fall in and out of love with Instagram. I really do.
I was just about to ask you.
And I do love it. And I think it is a really powerful, and, you know, the audience that I'm looking for is definitely on Instagram. But it's just a different platform. So I struggle to get people to leave the platform to head to the website or to head anywhere to sign up to stuff. They love to stay on the platform, which just differs from Facebook. So I guess the strategy that I use from Instagram is very different to the strategy that I use for Facebook. And I try to focus the Facebook in getting people and funneling them down into more, whereas the Instagram is more of awareness of us. But 9 times out of 10, I'll find that the Instagram audience will soon be joining us on Facebook or Facebook groups where we get more engagement from them.
Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed the same. On Instagram, people like to stay on the platform, so you really have to take advantage and use the platform as much as you can to connect. Whether on Facebook, it's just easier to send people to your website or to sign up to your email list and so on. Absolutely.
So brand awareness is incredible though on Instagram, and it really is. And, you know, and my love-hate relationship has also come from a lot of the bots, and I just didn't find it as authentic as Facebook. And that came from bots and from fake comments and a lot of fake stuff, fake likes. So I found, you know, people were following me, people were commenting, you know, their fake comments. But when I actually sent them a DM, they didn't know anything about the business. They'd been using, whether it was a click, whether it was a bot, but they just didn't have that as much authentic engagement as what I did on Facebook. That is starting to shift. I have noticed that again in the last couple of months, that you're starting to actually hit the people you want to hit, and you're actually able to engage with the people you want to engage with, which is really good. So I'm hoping to see a lot of changes, not necessarily changes, but I guess just an effect from the changes that they've made recently to really bring that true, authentic engagement back.
That's good. Now, let me ask you, you mentioned when you would DM someone who commented on your Instagram, is there a strategy, something that you use to connect with people? How do you use that?
I personally find DMs is just so powerful, and I really think that's helped us to build to the 3,500 mark in that time, because Instagram I only started later than Facebook. And I think those DMs and just being able to really connect with people just really helps. So I actually set myself to try and send 3 DMs a day during the week. So I will try to contact people, and it might just be a case of, you know, I find a new page or I find a new business and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Send them, you know, let them know that, you know, you found them and how you found them and why you think their business is, you know, really great, because, you know, people just, that's what Instagram and social, I guess, is all about. So I just find it really incredible. Another thing is when people start to follow me, I'll, you know, send them a message. And these aren't bots. These aren't messages that I'm copy pasting. I'm genuinely looking at their account and making a comment based on their account or based on them following me and asking the question, you know, what would you like to see? You're new to the page. Something attracted you. What was it that attracted you to the page? So asking those questions is just so valuable. And in DMs, people are really honest as well, and they're happy to connect. Whereas sometimes I find like an Instagram story question or asking a question in your post itself may not necessarily get, I guess it still gets engagement, but I want some answers to some stuff as well. And I find DMs are really good for that, really effective.
Yeah, that's interesting you say, because I imagine a lot of people would see DMs as a bit spammy, would feel a little bit afraid of doing it.
Yeah.
How did you find that the people that you send a DM, how did they react to it? Like, are they
always happy to receive it, because it's not a spam. I'm not copy pasting.
Yes.
I am, you know, if I can find that person's name on there, I'll start with a hi, you know, and it's not a generic. I have no copy paste, and that's something I don't do. I legitimately write something, and it might just be, you know, something I saw or highlighting something I saw or asking the questions, you know, I noticed you followed me. What is it about? Or notice that you liked these particular posts. Because, you know, sometimes when people follow you, they'll like 3 or 4 posts and they'll start following you and like, oh, I wonder what it was about those 3 posts that, you know, they really liked. So it's a genuine comment, and it's, I don't feel it's spammy, and I've always had a response to any queries that I've sent as well.
So that's a great tip. So if people aren't doing it, you recommend.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, I haven't been doing that.
Yeah, it's so powerful.
And see what happens. Now, I wanted to also ask you, what have been the biggest challenges that you found in business, pretty much, and how have you overcome those?
I guess my biggest challenge was school holidays, because that's just passed. So it's probably one that's fresh in my mind. School holidays is always a challenge. You need to work out. And I think that comes back to my mindset and to what I was saying about having a clear hours that you work, days that you work, and switching off when you're not working. Because I think that's really important when you've got, you know, the kids don't want you half talking to them or half playing and then quickly jumping on your phone or something like that. So during the school holidays, I do have my 2 eldest at home with me, but, you know, we set aside and they understand that I'm working and that tomorrow we're going to go to the zoo or tomorrow we're going to do something that's about them. And by having those clear boundaries, I find that they do still work. Absolutely, there are still some challenges because, you know, morning tea needs to be made, lunch needs to be made, afternoon tea, and every other snack in between still needs to get looked at. But I'd say that's probably my biggest challenge with being a mum working in business. But I think just mindset overall for a lot of people, and that mindset would look different for everybody, but just understand that it is a business and that you are running a business. You know, it's not a hobby, or, you know, that mindset is really important.
Fair enough. Yeah, I won't disagree. School holidays are definitely very challenging. Now, I just realized something. I wanted to ask you, because Facebook has obviously, as you said, been one of your biggest platforms to grow your business. And still, there are a lot of people who will argue that Facebook has it's not reaching so many people, it's not so effective as it used to be. Do you have a top 3 tips or to give to our audience on what to do or how to use Facebook to increase your reach or increase your engagement, or just, you know, build your audience pretty much?
I would say, you know, Facebook gives you so many tools and a lot of people don't use these tools. So, for example, your insights is just so valuable. Understanding when your audience is online and posting when they're more likely to be engaging, and I guess consider a person's day. So, you know, if you're targeting, let's just say mums as an example, but if you're targeting a mum, then, you know, there might be a few people or a few mums who go on Facebook in the morning and have a look, but I highly doubt they're going to then want to read a 1-hour blog. You know, it's just, that's what you've got to consider. You've got to consider, okay, well, they might sit down for lunch. They might, 3 o'clock is a funny time that, you know, took me a while to understand, but there's a 3 o'clock peak. And quite often it's the mums who are sitting in the cars waiting for their kids from school and they jump on Facebook. Again, they're not going to read a 1-hour blog. So I guess you need to think about what your audience is doing. And yes, there's a peak in that time, but what would they be doing at that time of day? And I guess another one is mixing up your content.
Yeah.
So if you had every single one of your posts as a link to something, then you're not going to get that audience. You know, storytelling is still quite, you know, a lot of people do it on Instagram, but I notice a lot of people don't do it on Facebook. And what I mean by storytelling is, you know, capturing them in that first few lines to get them to continue reading. So you might take a part of your blog out and put it into a post, and then people can click through to keep reading that blog. Or it might just be, you know, a particular graphic or a particular image or something that just resonates with your audience that you can talk about. But having stuff that allows people to engage, allows people to, a mix, allows people to click through, but allows you to tell your story or your business and why people should follow your business. And another thing is, don't mix up, because I know a lot of people say that, you know, links don't work and that they get a lot less. That's okay. But, you know, then if you've got just a whole page of memes, when someone comes to visit your page, all they're going to see is these memes or these images, and they're like, oh, it's not really, you know, that's all they post. I'm not really that interested. So mix up your content and consider what, you know, when you want a new like, consider what they're going to see when they visit your page. Do your last 3 posts tell what your business is about? Can they clearly see what you're trying to do and what they're going to get from you if they follow you? So if you're too salesy, if you're too click here, click here, click here, they're less likely to do it. But if you've got engagement and you've got stories happening and things happening, you've always got to think, what's in it for me? Because I'm not going to follow a page unless I see value in it for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what you need to consider. So, yeah, I know people do say, you know, their reach in Facebook has been affected, but I guess it's more just you need to look at your strategy. So a strategy that you used a while ago while businesses were a top priority for Facebook aren't going to work today, because Facebook is now looking for engagement. It's now looking for, how do we connect people with businesses in a way that is not advertising or spammy, because that's where they've got their ads for, you know. So you just got to find a way to really connect with your audience.
Fair enough.
You know, looking at your insights and looking into what posts work and what type of content work, and trying to, you know, rejig it or rechange it and reuse that sort of type of post. Don't copy the exact post, but that type or that style of post works really well for you and your audience. So, you know, try it again, but in a different way.
Those are great tips. Absolutely. No, I'm serious.
Thank you.
Well, I think what we'll do is we'll leave it to here, because I think we've got a lot from you, and I also don't want to take all your time, but it's been really, really great talking to you. And if people want to know more about you and the Digital Moms Directory, where can they find you?
I would head to Facebook, and you can search us under Digital Moms Directory.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Natalie.
Thanks, Fernanda. Bye.
Bye.